Hey everyone, just wanted to do a quick video to go over a potential series. So before I started growing microgreens, the decision was either between mushrooms, so this is Stamets' book, everyone knows Paul Stamets, and who's even remotely thinking about growing microgreens, or mushrooms rather. So the decision years ago before Casey Gardens was started was to either grow gourmet mushrooms or microgreens. They both have an equally desirable price point, but there's a couple differences and similarities. But I'm just curious, would you guys like to see a mushroom operation from scratch? So my business partner and I are thinking about getting into mushrooms because we already have the environmental controls, and a lot of the procedures are the same. So microgreens have a 10 to 14 day turnover cycle on average, and mushrooms are just longer, but the cycles are similar, meaning depending on how many fruiting bodies you're trying to get per flush, it's anywhere from 15 days to 60 days. So you're thinking in slightly longer cycles, but the procedures are the same each week, the same procedures that you tend to build doing microgreens and managing multiple stacking timelines, like I've made videos about, which tends to be the hard part about microgreens. They're super easy to grow, as you can find out if you try growing them for yourself. But if you're starting to do mixes and have deadlines and production timelines, that's where it becomes a little interesting. And the same thing with mushrooms. Mushrooms are very easy to grow just to get mushrooms, so if you do a shiitake log inoculation or anything like that. But they're a little trickier if you have to meet weight for delivery on a production timeline. So if you have the environment, humidity-wise, and the room looks a little bare right now because we're already starting to harvest and prep for delivery tomorrow. But if you have the airflow, the humidity control, the temperature control, those all have to be dialed way in for mushrooms. And that's the big difference, is contamination and environmental control has to be way tighter on mushrooms, just because risk of slime molds and anything like that. I do encourage everyone again to read this book or any other. Trad Cotter, who lives in Western North Carolina where we are, has equally good information, but Stamets is definitely the godfather of the mushroom cultivation world and who people come across when they first get interested in the knowledge. So we might be trying that, and I'm curious if you guys would like to come along for the ride and see the trials and tribulations and hiccups associated with building a mushroom farm, just scaling. Same thing you do with microgreens. Start out with a couple of racks in a very small area and grow as needed, but it's an equally appealing venture. Highly medicinal foods, which is the theme. So just quick medicinal foods is the name of the game if you don't have a ton of space. I will make another video on sort of the dichotomy between market gardening, which is kind of still the realm that we're in. Microgreens is market gardening, so to speak, popularized by Elliot Coleman and the newer generation of Jean-Martin Fortier and Curtis Stone, big names in the game, and a bunch of other people. But the ones who put out the initial information on how to actually make a comfortable-ish living doing gardening, opposed to just large-scale farming and sustenance agriculture. They kind of live in two different worlds, and we'll do a separate video on the criticisms and dichotomy between a permaculture, more ecosystem-based farming and gardening method compared with a profitable sort of shortcut systems like mushroom and microgreen cultivation. But we'll go over that next week or the week after. Do let me know if you'd like to see anything with the microgreen or with the mushroom cultivation, and we'll talk to you later.